Importance of sustainable development. The importance of sustainable development can be seen through the following advantages. ठीक है, सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट क्या होता है कि किसी चीज़ को फ्यूचर के लिए बचा के रखना. ठीक है, सो फर्स्ट इज़ वर्दी प्रिंसिपल. Sustainable development is a worthy principle that can be applied at every level of society, as it demands that we meet the needs of our generation without compromising the need of the next. Means चीज़ हम यूज़ करें वो अभी के लिए भी प्रेजेंट हो पूरी तरह से, और आगे वाली आने वाली जनरेशन के लिए भी वो पॉसिबल हो उनको, ताकि प्रोवाइड हो सके. Second is pursuit of excellence. Sustainable is physically responsible, drives intellectual and technological innovations, and demonstrate humanity's pursuit of excellence. Third is justifiable development. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Fourth is protection of natural resources. Sustainable development stresses the protection of natural resources of the world and find its alternatives as renewable energy methods, etc. Fifth is sustainable economic growth. Sustainable development stresses the sustainable economic growth, which refers to economic development that meets the need of all without leaving future generation with fewer natural resources than those we enjoy today. Sixth is enhancement of resource base. It encourages us to conserve and enhance our resource base by gradually changing the ways in which we develop and use technologies. Countries must be allowed to meet only their basic needs of employment, food, energy, water, and sanitation. Seventh, level of population. Sustainable development tells us the need for a sustainable level of population. Economic growth should be supported, and developing nations should be allowed a growth of equal quantity to the developed nation. Developing nation should keep their population level equal to their resources available. Eighth, warning about global population growth. Global population is on the rise. The UN projects that there will be more than 10 billion people on the earth by the year 2100. This explosion in population is one of the greatest reasons why sustainable development is so important. 9. Protection of technological resources. Present age is the age of technology. People are relying on technology for nearly every aspect of their lives. It is a fact that to come into existence, these technologies have used a significant array of minerals and other input. Countries should avoid the use of these natural resources without thinking. Balance should be maintained for sustainability. 10th, provision of basic human needs. Nations should focus on meeting the basic needs of their people. They should not waste natural resources for it too much. A rising population will also make use of the bare essential of our lives, such as food, water, and shelter. The provision of these essentials is based almost entirely around having an infrastructure that can sustain them for a long term. If energy is continuously developed on finite fossil fuels instead of sustainable option, the cost and environment toil of applying even basic needs can become staggering. 11th importance is agriculture field. Agriculture will have to catch up with that of growing population as well, figuring out ways to feed around 3 billion more people that it currently does. If the same unsustainable tilling, seeding, watering, spraying, and harvesting methods are used into the future, they can become very costly as fast fossil fuel resources run out. Sustainable agricultural practices like crop rotation and effective seeding practices can help to promote high yields while protecting the integrity of the soil as it produces food for large amount of people. Hence, in agricultural field, sustainable development is essential. 12th is importance for city development. As a population rise, city will need to become larger to accommodate the influx of new residents. If these cities are developed non-sustainability, they will become more and more expensive to build and maintain over time. This is because the resources being used to develop the cities will be finite fossil fuels that will only get more expensive as they run out over time. The higher volume of these fuels required to produce energy for this larger population will also negatively impact the air quality of the city. If cities use sustainable development practices, they can conceivably make ways for home, housing, and business developments indefinitely. 13. Control over climate change. Climate change is another issue that can be at least partially remediated through sustainable development. Sustainable development practices would maintain a lower use of fossil fuel which are not sustainable and which produced greenhouse gases. As the population rises, more people will be requiring more energy and will be putting an even greater strain on the world climate. 14. Importance for financial stability. Sustainable development can also produce more financially sustainable economics throughout the world. Resource poor economics will gain access to free and accessible energy through renewable while also having the opportunity to train workers for jobs that wasn't be displaced by the basic model of unsustainable development simply have no place in economies for the future. 15th, importance for sustaining biodiversity. Biodiversity suffers through overconsumption and unsustainable development practices. Beyond the basic ethical quandary presented by this fact, there is the further concern that these species are a part of food web that humans rely upon. Unsustainable development pollutes the ocean, which are home to a significant amount of algae, a species that humans rely on for a significant amount of oxygen they breathe. 16. Change in policies. Sustainable solutions could change the landscape of fields such as energy policy, healthcare, transportation, and housing. Each of these areas demands attention to address local immediate needs, but simultaneously each continues to demand attention into the future. Through sustainable long-term plans and policies can address both proximal and detailed issues in these areas. Sustainable development has a potential to be more efficient, has long-term potential, and is the only way forward for a world economy. People already use a huge amount of the earth's non-renewable resources to live their everyday lives. As more people join them, more of these resources are needed and the faster these resources are depleted. The cure lies in the use of sustainable development. It is the only available option for cities and regional development. So this is all about sustainable development. Importance of sustainable development. So, first is worthy principle, second, pursuit of excellence, third, justifiable development, fourth, protection of natural resources, fifth, sustainable economic growth, sixth, enhancement of resource base, 7. Level of population, 8. Warning about global population growth, ninth, protection of technological resources, 10th, provision of basic human needs, 11th, importance is agriculture field, 12th, importance for city development, 13, control over climate change, 14, importance for financial stability, 15th, importance for sustaining biodiversity, 16, change in policy. So this is all about importance of sustainable development.